Let's go.
You're watching Honest TV.
It's okay, I can do it.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's the reunion. I'm so excited. I just want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. And it's an honor, as I always say, a pleasure. Thank you for supporting Camaro Youths. Thank you to our forward thinkers. Thank you to everyone that has been standing by us. You know, this is something that cannot be done without your support. We are here in the UK. Now, when I came to London, I had no one. This organization has become my family. So without your financial support, without your physical support, everything that we have been doing would not have been possible. So I am grateful, my son is grateful, and the youths that we are saving out there are grateful. So I thank each and every one of you. Now today we just want to come back and bring some of our forward thinkers that have blessed us on this platform. Now, Camaro Youths, it's an organization that originated due to the fact that I lost my son. When I lost my son, I went through the whole triumph of being lost and confused, wanting to hurt someone's child. But as I've stated many times, that is not what we're about. That's not what my son was about. My son was of care and love. My son was about showing support to people that needed that support. So I contacted the mayor and some other officials where we got together, and some of my family, my friends, we got together and we created Camaro Youths. What is Camaro Youths? Camaro Youths is an organization that we support our youth psychologically for them to reflect on their actions. As to say, if you kill somebody, your family is going to lose out on you. You're going to jail, so your loved ones can no longer embrace you when they need to embrace you. And the individual that you kill will no longer be here due to the fact that they're now 6 feet under. Now, their family can no longer see them or embrace them whenever they chooses to. So, with this said, it's a lose-lose situation. So we psychologically empower these youths to become pillars of their communities instead of going in and out of jail and creating havoc in the communities. Again, I want to thank you because doing something as such is never easy. But with the right support system around you, you can accomplish everything and anything. So I'm grateful to all our forward thinkers. I'm grateful for those that are fit for purpose. And I'm also grateful to my team because without this team, we would have never escalated, elevated to where we are now. So I'm grateful. Now, normally when we start this show, I tell the story about my son, how he was killed by another youth, and the whole essence of it. But today's a celebration. The speakers, our forward thinkers that are here. Now, I know I'm getting a lot of messages from the bag saying a lot of people are trying to get in, but that is something we will rectify. I also normally sit here and I joke with each and every forward thinker that is here because the world is at a stage where everybody's going through so much triumph. and I try to bring light. My team tried to bring light and a little bit
and a
of
little bit of
laughter.
laughter.
But what
But
our
what our
children, what
children,
our
what
youths
our
are
youths
going
are
through,
going through,
it's not a
it's not
laughing
a
matter.
laughing matter.
This is
This is
something
something
that
that
we as
we
a
as a
community,
community,
we as a
we as a
society
society
need to come
need to come
together
together
and
and
understand that
understand that
these youths
these
are
youth
in need
are
of
in need
our
of our
support.
support.
Because if we
Because if
don't
we don't
support them,
support
as
them,
I've
as
always
I've always
stated,
stated,
how how we
how we
expecting them
expecting them
to
to
support the
support
next
the next
generation.
generation.
But
But
empowering them
empowering them
now,
now,
we are
we
giving
are
them a
giving
bit
them
of
a bit of
leverage
leverage
where they can
where they can
support the
support
next
the next
generation.
generation.
If you
If
don't
you
teach
don't
your
teach
boy
your
how to
boy how to
feed, or
feed, or
a boy
a
or
boy
girl
or
how to
girl how to
fish,
fish,
how would you
how would you
expect them to
expect them to
survive if you
survive if
just
you
keep
just
giving
keep
them the
giving them
food?
the food?
And that is
And that
what
is what
we do
we do
with
at
our
Kamau
youth.
Youth.
We want to
We want to
teach
teach
our
our
youth
youth
how to
how to
fish.
fish.
We want them
We
to
want them
become
to become
entrepreneurs,
entrepreneurs, to
support other
support other
youths, to
youths, to
support their
support their
communities
communities
and people in
and
their
people in their
communities by
communities
either
by either
employing them
employing them
or
or
becoming a
becoming a
community leader.
community leader.
So I am
So I am
grateful for
grateful for
every one of
every
you,
one of you,
and I
and
thank
I
you
thank
again
you
for
again
being
for
here.
being here.
As
As
usual, ladies
usual,
and
ladies and
gentlemen,
gentlemen,
I have the
I have the
opportunity
opportunity
of
of
having
having
Baki
Baki
Camus with
Camus
me
with
today.
me
How are
today.
you,
How are you,
Baki?
Baki?
I'm very
I'm
well,
very well,
thank you,
thank you,
Unisa.
Unisa.
It's always a
It's always a
pleasure to
pleasure
see you
to
and your
see you and
lovely
your lovely
smile.
smile.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, as
Now,
you're
as
quite
you're quite
aware,
aware,
this
this
is
is
our
our
reunion.
reunion.
What do you
What do
want to
you want
say
to
to
say
these
to these
lovely
lovely
people
people
that are with
that are
us
with
today?
us today?
First of all, I
First of
want
all,
to
I want to
say
say
that
that
everyone
everyone
here,
here,
you are meant to
you are
be
meant to
here.
be here.
And
And
we had
we
the
had the
biggest six
biggest six
months,
months,
okay, for
okay,
this
for this
event.
event.
And
And
every one
every
of
one of
you is
you is
valuable, is
valuable, is
worth
worth
it
it
every step of
every
the
step
way.
of the way.
And I am
And I am
so
so
happy and
happy and
grateful to
grateful
have
to
you
have
here
you
with
here
us
with us
today.
today.
So
So
I cannot
I cannot
wait.
wait.
And Eunice said that it's not going to be party, but actually, I feel
I
that
felt that
this
this
is the
is
moment
the
for
moment
us
for
to
us
make
to
it
make
happen
it
for
happen for
ourselves.
ourselves.
So
So
I just
I
want to
just
make
want to
sure
make
that
sure that
everyone here
everyone here
is
is
happy
happy
and
and
feeling great
feeling great
because
because
it's about to
it's
start.
about to start.
So, Eunice,
So Unisa,
are you ready?
I am definitely ready. I'm always ready. Because when it comes to my youth, I have to always be on point. I'm always ready to go. But when it comes to my forward thinkers, I get excited. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're also here. We're
We're
also here
also here
to
to
network.
network,
Get
network,
to
get to
know the
know the
forward
forward
thinkers that are
thinkers
here
that are here
today.
today.
You never
You
know when
never
you
know
might
when you
need to
might
call
need to
upon
call
one of
upon
them.
one of them.
When you're having
When
an
you have an
event,
event,
feel free
feel
to
free
reach
to
out to
reach
our
out
forward
to our forward
thinkers.
thinkers.
When you have an
When you have an
organization, a
organization, a
business,
business,
feel
feel
free
free
to reach
to reach
out
out
to our
to
forward
our forward
thinkers.
thinkers.
Because
Because
each of these
each of
forward
these
thinkers
forward
that you
thinkers
see
that you
here
see here
has a
has
reason
a reason
to be
to
here.
be here.
We just
We
don't
just
bring
don't bring
anybody on
anybody
this
on this
platform
platform
to be
to
a
be
forward
a
thinker.
forward thinker.
So
So
please,
please
always feel
always
free
feel free
to reach
to
out
reach out
to our
to
forward
our forward
thinkers.
thinkers.
I'm
I'm
excited.
excited.
I see some
I
of
see
our
some of
forward
our
thinkers
forward thinkers
smiling
smiling
beautifully.
beautifully.
I see
I
Cheryl
see Cheryl
smiling.
smiling.
So,
So,
without further
without further
ado,
ado, ladies and
let me
gentlemen, let me
introduce
introduce
some of
some
our
of our
forward
forward
thinkers
thinkers
that are here
that are
so
here so
far.
far.
And some of
And
them are
some of them
still
are
trying to
still
log
trying
in,
to
I
log in,
believe.
I believe.
And some
And
other
so other
people are
people
still
are
trying
still
to
trying
get
to
in.
get in.
Now,
Now,
we have
we
Mariam
have
K.
Miriam K.
Is she here?
So she
So
have
she
not
have
logged
not
in yet.
logged in yet.
But
But
we
we
have
have
Cheryl
Cheryl
Manette.
Manette.
Now,
Now,
Cheryl is a
Cheryl is a
vision loss
vision loss.
boss, but this is something I'm not going to speak on because this is not saving the next generation. This is our Forward Thinkers reunion. So I'm going to give
each
each
forward
forward
thinker
thinker time
time
to
to
expand on
expand on
their
their
skills,
skills,
and then
and then
I am
I
going to
am
go
going
into
to
some
go into some
questions.
questions.
So I am
So I am
grateful to see
grateful to
each and
see
every
each
one
and
of
every
you.
one of you.
Cheryl, welcome.
Welcome.
Cheryl, we cannot hear you. Well, while Cheryl is fixing her technical problem, Cheryl lost her vision. Well,
Well,
How's that?
okay, there you
Okay,
are,
there you
Cheryl.
are, Cheryl.
Please,
Better?
Please,
that is a lot
that is a
better.
lot better.
Please tell
I
us
said
Please tell
about
us
yourself.
about yourself.
I'm excited about the reunion.
Of course, we're
Of course,
excited
we're
to have
excited
you.
to have you.
Always
Always
excited to have
excited
you.
to have you.
So,
So,
do you want to
do you
tell us
want
a
to
little
tell
bit
us a
about
little bit
what you
about
do
what you
and who
do
you
and
are,
who you
and then
are,
we will
and then
go
we will
into
go
it?
into it?
America. And I assist those that are transitioning into the sight loss arena. So whether it's a youth or mostly work with females and assist them in that process, empower them, enrich them, train them so that they can stay motivated and know that who they were before the sight loss is still who they are, the same fabulous person after the sight loss. So that's a little bit about me. And as far as Kamara Youth, I'm always excited to be able to empower a youth, to help them build confidence and help them to understand the way the world works. I do not believe in the saying, I got mine, so you get yours. I believe in reaching back and pulling someone up, no matter what the age or what the level. Unisa.
Well,
Well,
I thank you, Cheryl. I thank you for you, and I thank you for the
thank you for the
position you
position
play.
you play.
But,
But,
ladies and
ladies and
gentlemen,
gentlemen,
Cheryl
Cheryl
Manette.
Manette.
Next, I want
Next,
to
I want to
introduce
introduce
a brother
a
of
brother
mine.
of mine.
This
This
gentleman and
gentleman
I,
and I,
we have
we
been,
have been,
well, we came a
well, we
long
came a
way.
long way.
I
I
heard his
heard his
story,
story
and it
and it
resonated to me
resonated to
in
me
so
in
many
so
different
many different
aspects.
aspects.
But I cannot
But I
expand on
cannot
this
expand on
gentleman
this
too long.
gentleman too
I
long.
will give
I will give
Andres
Andres
Cruz the
Cruz the
opportunity
opportunity
because where he grew up and what he's
and what
been
he's
through,
been through.
he
He
has
has
truly
truly
achieved and went
achieved and
beyond.
went beyond.
Andres,
Andres,
welcome to the
welcome to the
reunion.
reunion.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, and very grateful for the opportunity to be here at the reunion. And I'm just really grateful to have the opportunity to serve our youth right now who are really struggling a lot. And like my life's purpose is to save the youth's lives. And I just want to share an experience that I had a few years ago where I went to go speak to some youth. And I told my story about how I went through suicidal thoughts, cutting when I was in high school, how I went through my mid-20s. I was drinking alcohol, doing hard drugs like cocaine, almost ODing on coke. I talked to him about my gambling problems. I was overweight, weighing 265, was really depressed. And when I told this story to our youth, this young lady came up to me and she told me, hey, mister, like, I just want to let you know that I'm really grateful for you telling your story. And now I feel like I'm not alone. I've been through depression, anxiety, and I've been to 8 psychiatric homes. My family's in Michigan. I've been to 5 different foster homes, and I was going to kill myself tomorrow. And, that moment was a moment that I'll never forget, because that was the day that, like Mark Twain said, the 2 most important days of your life was the day that you were born and the day you found out why. And that day I found out why I was put on this earth, and that's to save the life of our youth. And right now, more than ever, our youth need us when it comes to their mental health. Mental health is on the rise right now. Suicide is on the rise. Kids are struggling with their emotional health, emotional intelligence. And my mission right now is to serve as many youth as I possibly can. I speak to colleges, to high schools, middle schools, and I teach them very simple tools that are very simple, but yet very powerful and could save the youth's lives. So right now, I'm just serving, and I will not stop until I'm 130, which I expect to live up to 130, 135 maybe. So that's a little bit about myself, and I'm just very grateful to be here. Thank you, and thank you to Camara Youths and to Unisa, man. You know, we known each other for like about more than a year, man. Time goes like that, man. It's amazing. So thank you again for having me. I appreciate it.
Andres, as I've indicated to you, you got to stop us in there. As I've indicated to you,
I think you're muted, Unisa.
Ahead of us, my brother, and I can definitely. I've watched you accomplish so much during this short period of time, and I watch each of my forward thinkers. I am consistently on social media, and I make sure my team is following everybody that is part of Camara Youths. And I'm just so proud and honored to have each and every one of you. Thank you. And we will come back to you. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce somebody. Her name is Dr. Zachary Ross. Alina. Yeah, but her name is Zachary Ross. Now, when she appeared, everybody was telling me, you need to start having people support Camara Youth on a financial level. We need to create this link for people to donate. As soon as we said we want support for Camara Youth, Dr. Zachary Ross, without even questioning, made the first donation for Camara Youth. And I'm so honored to have my friend, my sister, Dr. Elena Zachary Ross. Please tell us about yourself. You have to unmute. With such a perfect introduction, how can you not be there? Dr. Elena, we will come back to you. I don't know what is going on, but the next forward thinker that we have is someone, when he say she's on a hospital bed, she suffers from sickle cell. She has an organization here in the UK, which we will expand on, and also in Africa. She believes that so many children are suffering with sickle cell and not getting the treatment they deserve for free, or not getting it at all. So she took it upon herself to strive in making a difference. And this is a lady that she'll be in the hospital. She'll call me, Unisa, what do you want me to do now? What can I do to support Camara Youth? And she's the host of the Power Hour. My friend, my sister, Miriam K. Miriam.
Can you hear me? Hold on. Hold on. All right, can you see me? Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a blessed weekend. Thank you so much for having me. And for me, my journey with Camara Youth, it started just by me getting an award and then attending the award ceremony and speaking. But after that, I felt like there is more I can contribute to Camara Youth, not just, to, because our aims and objective align so much our goals in terms of youth, because my foundation is not just about sickle cell support, it's also about youth development and being somebody who knows what it is like to struggle and who knows what it is like to just have people not believe in your dreams. I wanted to be that for other people, and I wanted to be able to inspire young people, not just by telling them, but by showing them that, look, I have also gone through difficulties in my life. I have an unpredictable medical condition, which at any time I can be unwell, I can be in hospital, but I don't let that affect me. I don't let that stop me from achieving my goals. And being part of Kamari Youth really helped to get that out there and to be able to support young people, because we always say, oh, you know, young people need support. But for me, I believe in action. What are we doing to make that difference? What are you doing? And I think that is what we need to constantly ask ourselves. What can I do? Because we all have our struggles. We all have what we're going through in life. But there are other people that are in need. There are other people that can really greatly, that can benefit a lot from what you have to offer. So instead of just thinking about what is going on in your life, think about what can I do to help the next person. And that is what I love about Kamari Youth. It's about saving youth, you know, save our youth. And I believe we can all do that. It's just about you being able to think about another person other than yourself. And I went from, you know, receiving an award to now being part of the team with Kamari Youths. And I'm really looking forward to what other wonderful things that we have coming up, which I'm sure we are going to elaborate on. So thank you so much for having me, and thank you all for being here. I'm really honored to be part of this team.
Well, thank you so
Thank you so much, Maria. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the next speaker,
I just
want to acknowledge my brother, Morris the Connector. Morris the Connector was a speaker, forward thinker here with us. Unfortunately, this brother got COVID. He has not eaten for 5 or 6 days. I've seen him, not physically, but he and I spoke on via camera, and he's lost a lot of weight. I want us all to have him in our prayers. He's a brother with a good heart. He intends to support the youth. He's building a school in Africa for the youth. He's trying to open up a school here in the UK. You know, so let's just keep him in our prayers, please. And I've also lost someone that helped me for over 20 years, Vicky. She lost her life to COVID, and this is a couple of days ago. So I know some people are saying COVID is just a myth or it's just a theory people want to create. But all I can say is protect yourself, protect your family, please. This thing is really taking lives. I would want to one day be able to sit in your presence and reminisce about this. But right now, due to what is going on, the situation at hand, we all have to protect ourselves. So please keep our brother Morris in your prayers, in your thoughts, and his family. Thank you. Moving on. Robin is someone that is like a storm. Robin came into the family and say, you know what, this is
something
something that resonates with me.
I am
I am
a youth
a youth
advocate.
advocate.
If you look at her, you follow her
Follow her
online,
online.
you will
You will
see
see
not even
not even
thesis
thesis
that
that
she's
she's
putting
putting
out.
out.
She's
She's
actually
actually
putting
putting
them
them
out
out
there.
there.
And she's
And she's
acknowledging
acknowledging
Camaro
Camaro
youth
youth
in
in
her
her
interviews.
interviews.
She's
She's
supportive
supportive
of
of
Camaro
Camaro
youth.
youth.
She'll
She'll
be
be
coming
coming
to
to
the
the
UK.
UK.
So,
So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would love Robin to introduce herself. Robin, welcome to the reunion.
Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to today, and I see some familiar faces, and some of you I know I have not met, but I look forward to meeting you hopefully in person one day. But it's a pleasure to be with you. And as Unisa shared, I am a youth advocate, and more specifically, I'm a literacy advocate and leader who's worked with young people for more than 15 years. I'm currently a certified elementary school teacher, so I teach in the city of Detroit, and I've taught first grade for a couple of years now, and this year is going to be the year that I teach kindergarten, and I'm excited about that. But when I'm not in the classroom and working with our babies, I'm the founder and owner of Robin Wilson Educational Consulting LLC, and it's a for-profit company that works with nonprofit businesses to help them develop their programs or even refine their programs to better serve youth. And so I actually came into the Camaro Youth family through the Fit for Purpose event. I had the privilege of speaking at the June event on fathers as literacy leaders. And I'm excited that this fall, I've developed a whole course for fathers who are interested in learning more about how they can really be literacy leaders in their families and in their communities. And I just, again, thank you for making me a part of your outreach. I know what spurs your passion, and that inspires me. I think you couldn't have honored your son in a better way. And so thank you again for having me as a part of your mission.
Well, it's a pleasure, Robin, to have you. As I stated, ladies and gentlemen.
For you, Unisa, I see that you're talking. However, I cannot hear you. I don't know if everyone else can hear
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
I just
I just want to say it's a pleasure having you.
First of all,
it's a pleasure. Each and every one of these individuals, ladies and gentlemen, that you see here, as you hear them speak, you know why they're part of Camaro Youth. We are an organization that believe in people, but most of all, and most importantly, we believe in our youth. Many of us were youths many moons ago. Many of us know the havoc that we went through. No one can say they have had a perfect childhood. Or if you say that, I applaud you. Kudos. But for some of us, we had our trials and tribulations, and we needed a guidance, and it was provided. So now we have to provide that guidance for our children that are vulnerable, that are confused, that are lost, that are trying to find their place in society.
So I applaud each and
Every one of you.
Now,
again, moving forward. My brother Saeed, when Saeed and I met, he's not a forward thinker, but this is a brother that I just have to mention. He said, Unisa, we should honor your son. Camaro Youth and organization can go around building water pumps around different parts of the world. Saeed was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, his mother-in-law has COVID. So this is the third person in my circumference that has indicated of COVID. And one out of these three have lost their lives. So again, when I put the emphasis on protecting yourself and protecting your family, is something that is coming closer to me. So I would not want no one to be in pain or go through that. So please support yourself, support your family, support your community by taking care of you. You cannot take care of somebody else if you're not taking care of you. So I thank you all. Moving on. So another forward thinker. Well, Baki Camus, you just so happen to sit next to me today. Why don't you tell? Sorry,
You must be the lucky one.
you are definitely lucky. Baki is someone. I don't mean to give a synopsis on anyone, but it's like I have to. I'm just that kind of guy. Baki been through a lot. She was forced into early childhood marriage, which indeed she was abused in every aspect imaginable. Until when someone, well, not someone, her husband, her ex-husband, decided to take the abuse from her onto her. When she came out with Baki, be your own hero. What you went through, you cannot see it go through your children. She's a youth advocate, she's a friend, she's a sister. Baki Camus. Introduce yourself, Ms. Camus, or have I done it for you already?
I've done it already.
Well, thank you.
What can I say? You
I
all know
know.
me by now, eh? But all I can say is that
every one
every one of us
has
has
a hero inside.
I believe
I believe that
if you cannot
if you
find a
cannot
hero
find a hero
outside,
outside,
look it
look it
inside.
inside.
Because
Because
you
you
are
are
special.
special.
You
You
are
are
amazing.
amazing.
And
And
you
you
can love
can love
yourself so
yourself so
much.
much.
And when you
And when you
remember
remember
that,
that,
it's easy
it's
to
easy
do
to
with
do
other
with other
people
people
and give them
and
that
give them
bright
the bright
smile.
smile.
Like
Like
Unisa
Unisa
keeps
keeps
saying
saying
to
to
me,
me,
Barke,
Barke,
I
I
just
just
love
love
to
to
see
see
your
your
smile
smile
because I
because
learned
I
to
learned
love
to
myself.
love myself.
And now I
And
can
now
love
I
other
can love
people.
other
So
people.
thank you.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Just
Just a nice guy, ladies and gentlemen.
if you don't love
If
yourself
you
or
don't love
compliment
yourself or
yourself, who's
compliment
gonna do it
yourself,
for
who's gonna
you?
do it
Huh?
for
Very
you?
true.
Huh?
Very true.
Because over here
Because
they
over
tell
here
me
they
I'm the
tell me
old
I'm the old
grouchy
grouchy
man,
man, so
I kind of
I
shift the
kind of
hair a
shift the
little
hair a
bit.
little bit.
I thought you
I
pulled
thought you
them
pulled
out.
them up.
Well,
Well, all jokes aside,
this is a
this is a
reunion.
reunion.
Let's have
Let's
fun.
have fun.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm waiting for
I'm
the
waiting for
party,
the
guys.
party,
I don't know
guys. I
about
don't know
you,
about
but I'm
you, but
ready,
I'm
you know?
ready, you know?
The
The
party's
party's
happening.
happening.
The lives that
The
we
lives
saving.
that we're saving,
Impacts
the
that we are
impacts that we are
creating.
creating.
That's the
That's
party.
the party.
Okay.
Imagine seeing a youth
going through so
going
much
through so
triumph,
much triumph,
wanting to
wanting
take
to
their
take their
lives.
lives.
Imagine that
For just a second.
This youth has
This youth
nothing going on for
going
him
on
or
for
her.
him or her.
All they feel
All
is
they feel
pain.
is pain.
All they have is
Anger.
All they see in the
All
world
they
is
see in the
that
world is that the world, the communities have turned their back on them.
For their own
For their
family.
own family.
Precisely. And then you come along. You are that anchor that they need to elevate them, to get them back out of whatever they're going through. All it takes is one person to make a difference. I have a gentleman, Alexi. Alexi is a young guy. He's in Hawaii. Alexi actually sits down and write encouragement letters. He mails them out. If he meets you, he see that you're going through a bit of, he will give you this letter and say, please don't look at me like I'm weird, but can you read this? And also, he's with us today as well. I just want to acknowledge some of the people that are here because I want you to know I make myself accessible to everyone that is making an impact. I believe that we are here
to create that change. I believe that each and every one of you are a game changer. As my brother said, the greatest day of our life is when we find our purpose. I think my brother Andres, you wrote that, right?
Nah, not exactly. That was Mark Twain.
Oh.
I wish.
So much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I believe it. Shoot.
I love that. I love that. Now, moving on to our next speaker. Before I introduce this wonderful human being again, let's make sure she's here. Zachary Ross. Elena Zachary Ross. Well, if she's not here, ladies and gentlemen, one thing I said is that whether you're going to be available for this event, register. Just register to show that you believe in what we do. You believe in this movement. Zachary Ross drives about an hour to go to church to support her community. She's a storyteller. She told us about how this youth, her daughter, brought a friend home one time. And this youth did not want to go to church or had all the hopes down. She had a conversation with this youth. And now this youth goes to church with her on a daily basis. That is someone that we say is fit for purpose. Before we continue, because I have questions for everyone that is here, especially our speakers. Some of you know what fit for purpose means. Some of you know what a forward thinker is. But if you don't, let me tell you again. You are fit for purpose. You are fit for purpose because you are here. You are fit for purpose because you see something is wrong in the community. Something is wrong with our youth. And you decide to take action. You are fit for purpose. We acknowledge you. My forward thinkers. Our forward thinkers. You're a forward thinker because you're someone I can call on upon any given time, or the team, or an organization, a charity, a business, an NGO, and say, I have a problem. You are going to be on that phone and come up with a solution. That is a forward thinker. And I acknowledge you. Now, we are going to move on. I think our doctor Elena is back. But let's talk about Sonia a little bit before we go to our lady from Philadelphia. Sonia is someone that has went through her own triumphs. I asked Sonia because we were communicating back and forth. I said, why don't you deliver a speech? She was ready to go. I said, no. I want you to write it down. I want you to send it to me. And I want you to deliver the pitch. She executed it. But if Sonia tells you the trials and tribulations she went through the educational system, you yourself will be surprised at how is she able to deliver what she just delivered. When you believe in you and you keep striving, there's nothing that you cannot achieve. So, Sonia, we acknowledge you and we thank you, and we're looking forward to working with you as well. Now, the Dr. Zachary Ross. I introduced you, and you are not here. Now, I took it kind of personal because it kind of hurt my feelings because I did all this talk about Dr. Zachary Ross and she wasn't here. So Robin said, I know why she's not there, but that's a secret between Robin and Dot. Right, Robin? Robin's like, please don't make me.
No, he's lying on me.
Unisa, please don't. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we always like to have fun, and I always like to pick on my speakers, my forward thinkers. But again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the wonderful Elena Zachary Ross. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Unisa. I know you always have jokes and make us laugh, and I appreciate that about you. And you make us feel a part of the family. So hello, everyone. It is so good to be here amongst these other forward thinkers. It is just a blessing because all of us have the same goal in mind, and that's about how do we support, nurture, and really grow what is our future. It's our now and our future, and that's our youth. And so the fact that everyone has a heart for youth and are able to bring whatever gifts you have to share, and you give those gifts so authentically, so generously. And I just appreciate being a part of the family, and I love just the positivity that Unisa has. The fact that he's able to bring together such amazing thought leaders. I've been able to listen to many of you. So to be here today as a group, I'm so excited. In my day job, I'm the superintendent of schools for the Ypsilanti Community Schools in the US, in Michigan. And so I have 4,000 students that I serve as their educational leader. And my other hat for AZR Leads, I work with building leaders, and it can be youth, the people who serve our youth. And what I do is work on identity, because Unisa talks about this quite a bit, right? Like, if we don't help to shape our youth's identity, who they believe they are, what are their values and beliefs, how do we strengthen their capabilities? Because then it's the behavior, if they know who they are. And so that is what we focus on with AZR Leads. And I'm just glad to be able to be here at this reunion and to see such amazing, amazing thought leaders. Thank you, Unisa, for having us. Thank you for all you do for our youth, for those who serve youth. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Dr. Zachary Ross. Ladies and gentlemen, we are due to be starting our sessions again with the youths September 1st, and that is Wednesday. If you are in the UK and you want to make a difference, we want you. Our youths need you. Come down. It's the biggest building you can see, right? As soon as you get off North Circular, as soon as you get off A406, we're right there. And you will see the Camaro Youth sign. Come down and be a part of it. If you cannot be here physically, we will appreciate you supporting us, because we are supporting the youth in every aspect. We make sure we feed them, because we don't know when they leave, if they have food at home. So we eat together. We create that family together. And this is why I love what I do. Now, before I even go to Tanja, I have someone that was in jail for being affiliated with the mafia. Now, I'm not saying he was with the mafia. I'm not saying he was not with the mafia. But he's a very good friend of mine. And I actually did not know if he was going to make it here today. but
this
this
gentleman,
gentleman,
Ori,
Ori,
is
is
always
surprising me.
surprising.
So,
So,
ladies and
ladies and
gentlemen,
gentlemen,
Ori has his
Ori
book
has his
out,
book out,
Accidental
Accidental
Gangster.
Gangster.
Ori want to
Ori
teach
want to
our
teach our
youths.
youths.
It's
It's
you are not a
you are not a
gangster.
gangster.
A
A
gangster
gangster
would not go
would
to
not go
jail
to
and
jail
tell on
and
his
tell on
friends.
his friends.
A
A
gangster
gangster
protects his
protects his
family and
family
has
and has
honor.
honor.
What these
What
youths are
these youths
doing
are
now
doing now
is not.
is not.
There are so
There are
many
so
movies.
many
Al
movies.
Pacino
Al
have
Pacino
acted
have
as
acted
Ori. There's
as
so
Ori.
many
There's so
things,
many things,
but I
but
cannot
I
say much
cannot say
about
much
him.
about
I
him.
hope he's
I hope he's
accessible to
accessible
speak.
to speak.
Ori, please
Ori, please
introduce yourself.
introduce yourself.
I feel like
I feel like I'm
introducing
introducing everyone.
everyone. Ori,
Ori,
well,
well, I
Ori
think
just
Ori
logged on
just
as
logged
well,
on
like
as
I
well, like I
indicated.
indicated.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, hear me now?
we can hear
we
you,
can
but we
hear you,
can't
but we
see
can't
you.
see you.
Why?
I
Your
think
camera
I
the
is
think
camera
the
on.
is
camera
the
is
other way, Ori.
Let me figure here. Wait, hold up. Start video.
There
Now you
you
see
are.
me?
Welcome,
Welcome,
Ori.
Ori.
I need a cigarette.
Ori, you
Are
supposed to
we
be
supposed to
telling the
be
youths
telling the
don't
youths
smoke.
don't smoke?
Yeah, I only bought 2 cartons today. I don't like to run out. That was a great introduction. Yes. What is a gangster? Was I affiliated with La Cosa Nostra? In my book, The Accidental Gangster, I leave that up to the reader. Let them decide. But you know what? The past is the past. I went away. I did my time as a man. And I watch all these podcasts with all these informers bragging about what they did. But none of them want to take responsibility for anything. I, Ori Spado, take full responsibility for everything I've done in my life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It was my destiny, and it was my life. And today, I've been helping youths all over the world, and that's my greatest enjoyment that I get today. If I could ever help any youth and their parents, then I continue. Come here, how come you're moving all around?
Ori, you know me in the studio. I'm always everywhere.
And crime does not pay, folks. It does not pay. You cannot get away with it today. And for all you youths out there, you're listening to my friend Kamara and other people. They're all giving you great advice. And take it from a 76-year-old man who has a lot of friends that are no longer on this earth, a lot who died early, a lot who ended up in trunks of cars or in the rivers with cement boots or in prison. You don't want to end up like that. Today you have choices. I try to tell all my young people to get an education if that's their choice, or find a trade. But no matter what you do, to be successful, you got to love what you're doing. And if you love what you're doing, you will be successful. And remember, always do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. This is Ori Spado. I thank you once again for having me, folks. Thank you, Camaro.
Ori, You always
You always take my breath away.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you for
Thank you for not just showing up,
but
but actually
for
for implementing something in the ears of these youths that they need to hear. These youths think they gangsters, and as I've stated to you on the phone many times we have our talk, and you tell me family is the key, it's the most important thing, and loyalty and honor are what we need to strive for. So I thank you for always supporting me and making a difference of these youths.
You know, I'd like to make a remark on what you said about family. You know, in my book, I tell you how I was offered to become a made man twice. And I'll tell you, it was not easy for me to turn it down. It was very difficult. I had a lot of explaining to do. One to Sonny Franchese in New York, the other Jimmy Kachi here. But once you take that oath, your family, when I say your family, your wife, your children, they are no longer the number one family. The number one family is when you take that oath, those men are your family. It's no different in the gang. You become a gang member. That's your family. Your real family is no longer your family. You don't want to live like that. Because your real family, my children, are the most important thing to me in my life. I never had my children get involved in the life. And I never would. They're all doing something that they love. They're all straight up legitimate children. I'm their father and they all love me. They're there for me if I need them. That's family. That's your real family. Your blood family. Never forget that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whew.
Whew.
What do you say after that?
What do you say after that?
Thank you, Ori.
Thank you, Ori.
Next, we have
someone older in America.
Tuji.
Tuji. I know I'm saying her name wrong.
It's an advocate. She was a dancer. She used drugs. Then she came out of ODAC
because of her children.
She went to school. And she sees something is wrong with the educational system.
And she stood up. She said, this is not right. Everyone has the right for education, whether free or some we have to pay for. But everyone should be entitled. And she went against the Board of Education. And guess what? She won. One person can make a difference. I surround myself with individuals. Every one of you here, I can literally say I can speak on because I consider you as a family, not a friend. I know your stories, and I empathize because at the end of the day, we are all one race, one society. If I don't care the color of your skin, if I cut you, you feel pain and you bleed red. If you lose someone, we all feel the same pain. We can all be humane. We possess that trait. Let us be humane. Now, as some of our forward thinkers have spoken, some are not here. I want to ask some questions. Barky, I want you to ask the first question. Pick a forward thinker and ask your questions.
Okay, this is going to be great. I would like
I would like
to
to ask
Robin.
Robin.
I know that you're a school teacher, and I know that you're a speaker. You need to unmute myself.
Okay.
Can you hear me
Sparky,
now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Yes. So
I'm saying
I'm saying I'm choosing you.
And I would
And
like
I
to
would like
ask you
to ask you because
you
you became a teacher
and then
and then
you moved
you moved
into
into speaking,
coaching,
coaching, mentoring,
writing a
writing a
book.
book.
Can you tell
Can you tell
us
us
at what
at what age
did you
did you realize
that
that you
are meant
are meant to do big things in this world?
Thank you for that question. So, when I was in high school, I think I shared with you once before that, and I'll share with others who are listening. Um, I had a great mentor, and she's still someone who is in my life, and now I consider her a friend. But one of the reasons that I became a teacher and that I even became involved in literacy outreach at first is because when I was younger, while I love sharing stories and I love telling stories, I was a struggling reader. And so she worked with me. I was 13 years old and I was in our youth Bible study, and I had to complete a response to the lesson that had been given, and I could not do it, at least not successfully at that time. And so I walked out and she went after me. And, you know, one thing that I can truly say that through that process and with her working with me, what it helped me to realize was that there were people who had similar struggles to the ones that I had. And I knew that I wanted to make a difference. And I had a sense, even at that age when I was in high school, that I could make a difference. However, I would truly say when I knew that I wanted to become involved in literacy outreach work was when I was 21 years old, and I was tutoring a young boy in a program that I was volunteering with, that I was involved in. And he was improving tremendously from us working together. And I saw like the transformation and the shift that was taking place in him. And it let me know that the same thing that Terry Brinston did for me and working with me, that I could also have that type of impact too. So to answer your question, and I want to be mindful of time and let other people speak as well, but that was really that turning point for me when I saw that I also had that ability to help transform young people's lives through working with them. I knew that I wanted to be a teacher. I knew that I wanted to be involved in literacy outreach work from that point on.
Thank you so much,
Robin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Before we go on to the next
speaker,
I want to speak about IPC. IPC, it's a gentleman that play with words in a way that will uplift you in a poetry. Wow, he blows your mind. This gentleman have made, I don't know, songs or poetry that he just catches me in different lights. This gentleman not just is he just articulate with words, he also does art. And his passion is with supporting the youth. He work with the youth. He dedicates his life, his time, his energy in working with this youth and making a difference. He has decided to start a club room to support people for free because he believes in making a difference. So IPC, we thank you for what you do. Continue doing what you do. Your service, it's needed. Thank
Thank you.
I
I have a gentleman
that is a
that is a forward thinker. Now, some of you know Chuck, and Chuck and I, we banter. Chuck come across as this strict individual, like straight to the line, but he's like a teddy bear. Like the youths will run around Chuck in a circle, and he's like, "Wait a minute, stop it!" But when he comes, you seem like he's a teddy bear. He's a good friend of mine. He worked, with the youth for many years as well. He's a speaker as well. So Chuck, please introduce yourself. It's a pleasure.
Hey, good, thanks, Unisa. There's no introduction like the one Unisa can give you. So my apologies for being late. I was working today at an event that was partially centered around youth, particularly around COVID vaccine and some of the other issues that we talk about in this space. But I'm glad I was able to make it. Good afternoon and good evening to you all, to those of you all that where that applies. And I see so many familiar faces. Robin, hey, what's going on? I see our leadership experience tour alums there, and then other folks that I've met in this space. And I just want to tell you all, I hurried home. The event actually wasn't over, but I hurried home because I just wanted to be in this space again. I can't tell you all how much being a part of this Kamara youth movement has really caused me, to be honest with you, and if I'm being transparent, to step my game up, seriously. And I'm not just saying that just because it sounds good, in terms of being accountable to people in the community. And that just doesn't mean my local community here, but all of the communities that I'm a part of, which includes Kamara Youth, being accountable and making sure that I go that extra mile to really serve people. Because yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'm a speaker and this, that, and the other. But if I'm not helping people, then it really doesn't matter. Who cares? There are a bunch of speakers. There are a bunch of people who can give speeches. But the fact of the matter is, how many people can we influence? How many people can we help? And particularly in this space, when we're talking about youth, we talk about, oh, the youth matters, they're our future. Well, that only is true in our own sort of sphere of influence if we're out there doing that work. And so I just want to thank you all for inviting me back into this space. And I look forward to hearing from the other folks who are on the call as well.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for rushing to come and be a part of this, Chuck. We always appreciate you, and you're all part of the family. So we're grateful for you being here.
Before we go any further,
Baki's requesting. So it's not my request, ladies and gentlemen. It's Baki. IPC, can you unmute your mic, please? IPC.
Yes, what's happening?
How are you, my brother?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm at my art fair, selling my art.
Well, these wonderful people that I call forward thinkers, my fit for purpose. We are wondering if you can say something in reference to Kamara Youth. You and I, we doing a lot of talk behind doors in reference to us creating something that is organic for the youth. So I know we are in the pipeline for that. But can you give us something, a flow about the youth, or about my forward thinkers, or my fit for purpose people, please?
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Definitely can.
Most of the youth today, they just want to kick it. They're asking themselves inside themselves if they can. I ask myself, with the Kamara youth, with UNISA? Can we kick it? And most of the time I doubt that. But even in out of the land of good old Uncle Sam, you can kick it. You can kick it down the street. You can play kick the can if you remember the days of being a kid. But most of us are not kids anymore. But me, I still skate down corridors of this poetry as I rise with the sunrise. I open my eyes to a fresh, brand new day where I get to play the music I live. I get to kick it with like UNISA on that clubhouse who see the world through a poetic kaleidoscope filled of joy, laughter, beyond the skylines of hope, and if you view it through this creature side. All of us can keep moving bold and bright and keep learning that we got these brand new shoes. We can kick that soccer ball into the sunrise. We can make the God statements fly over the worry and the doubt, past the naysayers, the troll losers, and all the people that push us down. See, we can let those youth rise above the concrete clouds because, see, they produce no rain that get in the way of my paint box, pencil, and poetic train, the one that leaves these California earthquake tracks. You see, I make paint marks on canvas snapbacks that illustrate the world in colors. And some of us will never see that until we awaken to this living, waking dream. We take all of our colors inside of our mind. We let the youth color it all in aquamarines, blend smooth as ocean blues and greens that take the sea current, mirrors that I have tsunamis inside. I ride beyond the holding fences and the force of all our imagination, the sight and sounds of the true illumination. Because there still be granite stones, remains of war, burned dinosaur bones, a past tag with hate and fear, so the future sometimes sits cold, lonely, and clear. But these granite stones, UNISA, they be the art teacher who told you to draw within the lines, the detention center that put you a grave behind, the custodian lover who tarnished your dull shine, and the principal who posted don't be different signs, the military borders who gave you the orders to throw out the unique, take the critique, and take your ball home. But these granite stones that seem to still get in the way of all of our youth, they naturally be creatures that are made of the breeze, the mountains, and the towering redwood trees. And these are the rivers that all of us have always known, because we are the waterfall that flows through those granite stones. We are the ink, the paint, and all the creativity, the colors of midnight that slips through the cold, gray granite. We are the shimmering heart light, and the youth, they got boulders on their back, but we can still teach them to take more than flight. Granite stones be those roadblocks, but they don't stop, and they won't stop this creativity of this artist right here, this California poet that moves at light speeds, waterfalls coasting with elegance and ease. And we can move with all these youth through these granite walls, through the can'ts and the won'ts, and we can all stand together, united, stand up and tall. And we can teach them to kick it in a world gone mad, to kick it in a world gone bad. So I want you all to say, yes, you can. We can stand tall with Kamara youth. In a world of granite stone walls, we can kick it. We all can tell each other, we can uplift each other. We can tell each, yes, you can make it happen. When you remember your rippling waters flow through stone, your lyrical miracles splash from your watchtower domes, and you can crash on through, because we got to keep moving. We got to keep believing. We got to keep sharing. And most of all, we got to keep loving. We got to stop thinking so much and just get in the motion. We got to keep all the youth up. So I asked myself again, and I asked you, can you kick it? And I say, yes, you can. Yes, you can. All you got to do is believe that it can happen.
Snap,
Snap, snap, snap, snap. Robin said it. Snap, snap.
I told you
that man is on fire.
If you
hear that man spit,
every time
he says my name, I'm like, oh, he's doing it to me again.
Hold on, let me
get a tissue. The brother is gifted, ladies and gentlemen.
And we just
got him off guard.
I promise you,
this was not supposed to go down like that. So he's a man that he just the words. So we will see how we are going to get IPC. IPC, we thank you. Also, we have Cheryl. Cheryl is here in the UK. Cheryl is someone that reached out to me and said, what can I do? How can I serve? I want to come to the center. That is right. I say, if you're in the UK, we need your service. We need your support. These youths need you. we
cannot do
this alone.
Growing
Growing
up
up in Africa,
they
they always say it takes a community to raise a child. We, a village, a community, but I heard a community. But if we get together, we become that village or that community, imagine the impact we can create. I reach out to every organization.
If there's
an organization out there
that
have reached out to me
and I
have not responded, I apologize. Because
you know
from Manchester, Birmingham, London, anywhere, India, you call me, I cannot come. And where? Uganda, we cannot come there yet because due to the traveling, situation. But here in the UK, you know, if you call me, I'm there. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. We can be so much stronger when we come together. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say we have our speakers for September. Phenomenal individuals. It's the last Saturday of the month, and I want you to come and hear some powerful speakers. Some of these speakers that you see here today, you will be seeing them again, because our speakers, our forward thinkers just don't bless our stage once.
Or twice. We are family. We can call on each other, just as if they need me or they need a part of my team, not my team, our team.
You're muted, Unisa.
You're welcome.
Go on. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, they're welcome too. So, again, it gives me the greatest pleasure of working. Whether you are fit for purpose, but again, this young lady, when she also found out that I lost somebody with COVID, she called me. She said, Cheryl, she said, Unisa, I'm fasting. 3 days, let's fast.
How
can I support you? How can I support Camaro Youth? Where do you need me to be?
You get it?
You get it?
Where do you need
me to be to support you?
That
is what we need.
We
need financial support. We need the physical support. Support us. Because we cannot do this without you. And I have another young lady here, Sajuta. Sajuta is someone that when she was growing up, she had faced a lot of obstacles. Her husband's family told her she's ugly. Everybody telling her, don't do this. You cannot do that. Don't do this. She stood on her feet and said, I'm meant for better. I am meant for so much more. She went on for working for big companies. She went against the judicial system because a girl was raped. And she said, this is not right. They're trying to protect the boy, but who's the victim here? Remember what I said. Someone got raped. Who's the victim? The person that raped or the person that got raped? Who's the aggressor? She went against the whole court system. She won. She's a journalist. She wrote books. She's been on so many TV platforms, and she's still impacting behind people, impacting people behind doors. So I asked her to be here. So, Sajutu, we thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Now, moving forward, So my forward thinkers, my questions. But Ms. Camus, do you have a question before I drop the rain?
Yes,
Yes,
I have a
I have a
question
question
to, actually, I'm
actually, I'm
gonna
gonna
call
call
out
out
few people.
few people.
So we
So
got
we got
Cheryl,
Cheryl,
Miriam,
Miriam,
we got two
we got two
Cheryls
Cheryls
actually.
actually.
I would love
I
to
would love to
ask
ask is that
what is that
what is
one
that
thing
one thing
that made
that
you
made you
to
to
say,
say,
I'm gonna give
I'm
up my
gonna give up
time
my
and
time
give it to
and
Kamara
give it to
Youth?
Kamara Youth?
What is that?
What is that?
And that can
And
be
that can be
every
every
one
person
person
can
can say
say
that
that
one
one
thing
thing
for
for
themselves.
themselves.
Hi,
Me?
this is sorry, somebody else speaking.
You are on
You are
mute.
on mute. You are.
You took yourself
You
on
took
mute.
yourself on mute.
Unmute
Unmute
first.
fast.
That means you can
That means
speak.
you can speak. Sorry for my
my English
my
today.
English today.
Go on, Cheryl.
Go
Hi,
on,
this
Cheryl.
is
You can speak.
hi everyone. Just to say, it's a pleasure to be here. And I'm speaking from London. For me to be involved into this project is because I'm a mother, and in London, there's a lot of stuff going on with our youth, you know, and I'm very passionate about our young people and knowing and seeing that there's a need for community, because it is not just the parents that grow children. We've just launched our, my friend's just launched her business today. That's why I was late. It's called Beam. She launched it in the back of her garden, and it was absolutely amazing. If you see all the youth that came, the young people who are doing the transitioning to secondary school, and all the things that was happening, I could just see both Anissa and her and myself working together. I see that vision. We need to come together. There's a saying that says one hand can't clap. And if we come together, we can make so many things possible. And I yield.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I think the
I
other
think the
Cheryl
other
is
Cheryl
ready
is.
to speak now. Go for it.
Go for it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. My reason with Kamara Youth, as I've gone through transitions in my life, speaking with Unisa around the time he lost his nephew, his son in America, and the pain that he was going through and expressed, it really made me think of a lot of things. And helping the youth is something that my heart is always open to the youth. And it makes me reflect, because I lost my sight. I've always had sight issues, but I never really reflected upon them until I actually lost my sight later in life. And as a youth, we go through so many different things, and especially as parents, I'm sure you can relate, you know, your children either talking to you, not talking to you, being upset about things, and you don't know why they're upset. And sometimes they don't even know why they're upset. They're just upset. And having sight loss issues growing up from a very young age, reflecting upon that, it really made me think about how others can make less of yourself, and that you don't have the value that you do have. And you can feel that there's something inside of you, but you just don't know how to get it out. And as a youth, you don't have the skills. So being able to assist youth and parents also, so that they can have a better life and they can be more confident and they can understand their self-worth and value, and they can understand the opportunities for themselves that are out here, and that there is a way to live other than saying, I'm just going to give up and turn to the street. That's why I'm here. And I don't want the youth to have to struggle simply because they feel that they're crying out and no one is hearing their cries. So I'm here to support.
Thank you, Cheryl. Miriam, I think we're ready for you.
Well, for me, growing up, similar to Cheryl, I had a lot of difficulties in terms of my health, and just feeling that, just wanting somebody that can believe in me, somebody that can see that, you know, the effort was there, although the difficulties were there, and being able to overcome. And also when I was young, when I was a teenager myself, I literally held, you know, a friend as he lost his life to a senseless act, you know, and thinking, and up to this day, I always think to myself, what would he have become? What could he have done, you know, had he had a chance? And if more people just have that opportunity, and they have programs like Kamari Youth and people that can really just help them realize, because those that took his life, they lost their own life, they lost their youth, because they are now in prison and probably still there. He lost his life, and us that witnesses, that were witnesses as well, we were also affected as a result of that, you know, and traumatized, and by just one senseless act, and not realizing how many lives that can be impacted as a result. And if I can be part of anything to help for people to see that, for young people to see that, because sometimes we get blinded so much by everything else going on. The pride, wanting to show off, and not realizing there is so much more to life than just you trying to prove to somebody who maybe in few years you're not even going to recognize if you see them. Yet you are about to lose everything just to prove something to that, because it was a very senseless argument that led to so many lives being destroyed. And as a result, being part of Kamari Youths and being able to have an impact on young people, and if there's anything we can do to reduce more of so many lives being destroyed as a result of people not having guidance, then I am truly honored to be able to do that. And that's the reason why I wanted to be part of Kamari Youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you so much. And for me,
is that
Mr. Kamara texts me one day, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I want to know more about his story. And he told me about his story, and I fell in love with this amazing man to want to help and give my time to this community and to the children all over the world. And this is why I'm here today. So thank you. And back to you, Mr. Kamara.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Moose. Thank each and every one of you. I want to speak about another forward thinker that is here today. And after that, I'm going to give each one the opportunity to ask our forward thinkers a question. And I want also our forward thinkers to put their details, contact details onto the chat room so people can be able to contact you. As you can see, please, I'm not trying to be rude to anyone. I'm on the phone because I'm trying to respond to some of the individuals that are having a bit of difficulty logging in. So I'm not trying to ignore you. Each and every one of you know you always have my undivided attention. Let me speak about another speaker that is here, but right now he's working with the technical aspect of the team. Richard Cunningham. Richard, as I've always said, he went to Cambridge. Something like that. Or did he work at Cambridge? He got, well, he was at Cambridge.
Okay, let's stick with that one.
Richard is someone, he's the CEO of AMB TV. Richard is always on TV talking about making a change. How can we impact the lives of those that don't have a voice? How can I, Richard Cunningham, serve you? It's not about Richard Cunningham. It's how I, Richard Cunningham, can serve you. How can I help you grow? And that is what makes him humane. Richard and I met at the studio. He was doing a show, and I just happened to stop by. I think I was doing the show as well that day. And we had a conversation, and I told him what I was about, who I am, what I want, what my expectations are, what my purpose is. He stopped. He said, I am also, don't you call those people that pray for you before you die?
Pastor.
No, it's not a pastor. No. When I think of it, I will tell you, we should have seen so many youths dying. I know the words on my tongue. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. He's a chaplain.
Oh, chaplain.
I knew
it would come to me. Now, he said, I am tired of seeing our youth dying. How can I serve? How can I support Camaro youth? Richard is not a speaker on this platform today because he's supporting again in the background. He was not a speaker last month because, as many of you know, we had a bit of technical difficulties due to the fact that we're trying to connect so many different TV stations and having the radio station as well. So we're trying to put everything together, which indeed, if you try to do too much, you're going to destroy something. And the funny thing about what we do is that when we wanted to do this, we contacted Zoom. We said, we want to do our event on your platform, but we want to add TV. Zoom told me, point blank, it's not happening. Now, I'm the type, many of you know, when you tell me it can't happen, it's like telling me, go do it. So when they told me no, I called the team together and we made it happen. And now we're connected everywhere and we are doing everything. We are unstoppable. With the team that I have around me, I am grateful. Many times I call people 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, we have conversations. Join the team. Help us in what we do. Support us in you making a difference. Any way that you can. If you cannot support us physically, support us financially. If you cannot support us financially, support us physically. There's always a way. And they say where there's a will, there's a way. I'm not going to hold this any much longer.
We have to also mention Sean Fair because he's been part of the team as well.
Sean Fair, that's my brother. I know he's watching. Unfortunately, Sean is unable to join us, but Sean has been texting me. I think that's him playing with the camera. Oh, no. Okay, that's Richard. Okay. Sean, right now, he's doing a lot of things, but he's been texting me as well. He wants the code. He's going to be logging in. Sean and I, when you literally say we stay up all night on the phone, many times, for 3-4 hours, talking. I love this brother like a little brother. I love him as a big brother. He annoys me. I annoy him. but he's been part of the team. He's quite influential with the team, but he is also someone who is of change. And we appreciate anyone that is always trying to make an impact. And I'm so grateful having you, each and every one of you, forward thinkers, fit for purpose, step up and say, we can make a difference together. I thank you. You know what I want, Barky? I want our audience to have a go at our forward thinkers. This is a networking session. Let's network, ladies and gentlemen. It's an open flow. Does anyone fit for purpose have any question for the forward thinkers? Unmute. Kimberly Hicks. Yes, I know Kimberly. Okay. Well, I want to ask a question. Many of you came on saying that you want to network. I know so many people are still trying to log in, but feel free to unmute. I want to ask Chuck. I just want Chuck to tell us his story when growing up, the mistake he made. Are you smiling, Chuck?
So, as many of you all, well, some of you all on the call know, my platform is based on the fact that, or this process that says that if you make good choices and that you combine those good choices with good habits, then you're eventually going to see success. And that wasn't something, Eunice, that I just kind of made up in order to create a platform for myself to speak. It was the experiences that I talk about via social media and when I'm on various platforms is basically my experience. And someone earlier talked about wanting to be in a position or be in spaces where they can help youth make better choices and create success for themselves. If I'm, just taking this opportunity to be transparent, I've made some bad choices in my life. I have. And I've decided that in order for those bad choices not to continue to own a piece of who I am, because they're not who I am, they're just some choices that I've made, but but those choices don't define me. Being in this space and being able to influence youth and share my experiences on choices and habits and how they can be successful I said earlier when I got on the call, I'm really overwhelmed by this platform and this opportunity. I don't take it lightly. I mean, right now I'm not giving a speech. I'm really just really talking to you all. And so as I think back on some of my choices, and they all haven't been bad, some of them have been great choices. And I could go on and on about the fruit that those choices have borne. But as I see our youth, and as I was at an event today where, gosh, if they just would have made a different choice, and how can I, not just how can I reach them, but how can I influence them? How can I encourage them? How can I exhort them? What can I do to assist them? And I saw this word typed in the chat a few times, humility. How can I do that in a way that brings humility to that interaction? And so I would just encourage everyone to, as we are on our various platforms, as we're brought into the spaces of influential people to remember that not only do our choices and our habits help define our success, but we also have to do it in a way that's humble, where people where they're actually seeing the person that we are and not the person that we just want them to see or the people that we present. I had it said to me like this, that we'll know that we've reached full maturity when our private lives and our public lives match. And so to that, I'll yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The reason why I asked this gentleman to share that story
is because our
speakers have different backgrounds. We all have experienced something. We all have been through something. We all have faced something. Whether positive or negative, but it's a learning experience. Dr. Zachary Ross.
Are you done?
I want you to please share with us the story about the young lady that your daughter brought home that started going to church with you.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, you know, it kind of goes to what Chuck has said and what we keep hearing about everybody's talking about. The fact that if it's just one person, it only takes one person to reach out to another person to make a huge difference. And Chuck just talked about humility. It's not just about reaching out, because we can all sit on our platforms, we can all be present, but are we really being open? And this openness, the sharing, when we opened up our home to this young lady, like really opened up, not, hey, you're welcome anytime, not, I'm going to go and save you, because they don't need that kind of saving. Our youth needs some folks that are really open, who will be transparent, who will look beyond our own bias and our judgment and welcome them for who they really are. You know, a lot of times we don't set aside judgment. And this young lady came to us because she was broken, because she had been rejected, because so many folks judged her. And when my daughter was open with her, when she came to our home and we were open, then her heart was able to accept the spirituality part. But they first need to just know we're open. You know, one of Marianne Williamson's quotes that I just love is that the fact that one about our deepest fear, you know, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, you know, it's that we are powerful beyond measure. And our youth are powerful. Yet they hold that back because of being judged. They hold that back because they're worried about what others think about them. They hold that back because we don't lift it up, because we're often not open enough to be able to engage, to be able to see their light, to be able to see their gifts, to be able to see their beauty. And so I can just say that that young lady, she blossomed. And it wasn't because of anything that we did, truly. It's allowing her to be able to see the gifts that she already possessed, allowing her to move beyond being judged to being able to be open to her spiritual self, her personal self, her bright intellectual self. And so Unisa, that's why I'm just in love with your platform, because it allows us to be open to the youth that show up, and they show up in a mighty way, in a powerful way, when we, as adults, allow ourselves to be open, allow ourselves to set aside judgment, and allow them to let their light shine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, I'm talking
Oh,
about...
I can't hear you, Unisa.
Oh. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zachary.
You know,
I'm talking about not just our speakers, but people in the audience. And our audience, one of the individuals that is there is my brother, BK. BK, after he graduated from law school, he worked at the ADA's office, District Attorney's office. BK said, man, I'm grateful for something better. He started working at a law firm in Brooklyn. Then time went on, he started working for the MTA and became the director of the MTA. And now he has climbed up to be the vice president of the MTA. So, bro, I acknowledge you. Congratulations on the promotions. Keep rising. Like you always say, we can see the sky, but that's not the limit. Thank you very much. Moving on. I want, Sonia have her hand up. Sonia, the mic is yours.
Hello, Kimberly.
Hello, Kimberly.
Oh.
Sonia, the
Hi, sorry. Right, can you see me and hear me now?
We can see you.
Can see you.
Can you all see me and hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, sorry about the non-interaction. I couldn't let this call end without acknowledging and thanking you sincerely, Unisa, for that wonderful introduction to the platform. And I'm really excited to be a part of this. I've had some technical issues at the beginning of this call. I was on drive safely mode, so it wouldn't allow me to enable my mic or my video. So I apologise for the non-response to that, because it was a wonderful and sincere introduction, and I thank you for that. I'm really excited to be on the platform and looking forward to being fit for purpose and a forward thinker. In answer to, I forget now, I do apologise, somebody's question about why are we here. I just wanted to go back to my story quickly, that where I kind of differ from Robin is that Robin has prior been a teacher and now moved into this, whereas I was kind of directed to this platform as a result of being part of Sean's leadership experience. And this really sung to me. When I heard about this, it was like, now that is something I would like to be a part of. So as a result of that, I've actually been starting my speaking, but also I've now got a job starting in September as a teacher. And for me, I've got zero experience of teaching. However, my learning and my passion about helping young learners and young people in general, for me, the subject wasn't the issue. It was about allowing me to develop a teaching style where I could use my skills and knowledge and hopefully my influence in how I believe my skills and things can help them to interact and to find themselves and achieve better. I'm hoping will give the evidence-based that the way of teaching can influence their outcomes and their success. So that's what brought me here.
Thank you so much,
Sonia.
Moving forward, I just
acknowledge some of our speakers as we're moving on, so you can have some of an idea of who they are. And the reason why I'm picking bits of their stories from being as a forward thinker. It's a you that is here or you that is going to watch this at a later time can look onto these forward thinkers and say, you know what, that is someone I want to work with. That is someone I want to bring in my organization. That is someone I want them to, cancel me. So let's move on to my brother Andres. Andres,
I recall on
your time with us, you spoke about being overweight or something, being bullied, and so forth, and it brought you.
Can you
Expand on that as to how you overcame it and so forth, and where you are now?
Yeah. So when I first got started on this journey of personal development, I recall when I had no purpose, I had no clarity of what my future looked like. And that was when I was in my mid-20s. And I think that this is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of youth are struggling after they get out of high school and when they're in college. They don't know exactly what they want to do with their lives. And sometimes they're doing things because their parents told them to do this. And really, they're not happy with it. I've had kids go up to me and tell me, I really want to be a artist, but my family tells me that I'll probably starve if I go for that. And or their parents tell them you have to be a lawyer. We come from a family of lawyers. That's what you have to be. And for me, I see that when I was overweight, when I was doing drugs, when I was drinking alcohol, I was really depressed because I had no clarity of my future. I never took the time to get clear on it. And I remember one time listening to a motivational audio by the great Les Brown and him saying, many people will leave the universe without a trace. And under their name, you can put not used up. And I said, damn, like that's me. I'm not used up. And I knew that I was meant for more, but because of the surroundings that I had, my family, which I love, would tell me, just be grateful. You pay your bills, you got a house, you got a car, you got a family. You have everything you need. You got a good job. But I knew in my heart that there was more to this life than what I was doing. I would ask myself, there's got to be more to this life than what I'm doing right now. And that got me started on my journey of first losing weight, losing the 80 pounds. And then after that, what I started to then do was like, you know what, man, I have to do something with my life. What is my purpose? What am I here for? So then that's when I got started doing stand-up comedy. So I mean, quite the purpose, right? But I started doing stand-up comedy. And then I'll be very honest, I really sucked as a comedian. I was a terrible comedian. So somebody told me, hey, why don't you join a public speaking club? So then I joined a public speaking club. I got better as a comedian, but then I fell in love with motivational speaking. And then I started to reach out to high schools, middle schools, colleges, like speaking for free. And, I got a lot of no's, a lot of rejections, but because I felt like this was my purpose, I didn't quit. And I kept doing it over and over again, connecting with people. Then I started getting paid as a speaker. And then people started to ask me, like, how did you do it? How did you find your life's purpose? And I then started coaching. And now, I'm doing coaching and speaking. And now I've been blessed to be able to have spoken to thousands of youth. And right now, like I told you earlier, I'm on a mission to save the youth's lives. This year alone, I've already had 5 kids send me a Zoom message that they're going to kill themselves, that they're thinking about killing themselves. And it's because of the challenges that we're having right now. A lot of the kids, they're having a lot of challenges with anxiety, with depression. They don't know what to do. They don't have the tools that I give them that are very simple, but yet very powerful, that could save their lives. And so right now, I really believe that our youth need us more than ever. And we can't just sit there and say, God, I hope somebody helps the youth. Because what if everybody else is saying the exact same thing? God, I hope one day I can help a youth. Like if everybody's saying that, then who's doing it? Like I'm just one man. I can't help all these youth. We need everybody here to do their part. And if you're just sitting there in fear because you're worried about your fears, then you're being selfish because you're thinking about you. You're not thinking about the people. You're not thinking about the people you can serve. There's so many people out there that are waiting for your greatness, but because you're so worried about your fears, people's lives will suffer. So really think about that. Are you really taking the action to serve the youth? or are you sitting in fear and being selfish?
Thank you so much, Andres. I just want to say I'm happy you give up comedy.
Me too, man. Me too.
My oldest brother Sam, he used to think he was going to be a comedian, but now he's a partner at a law firm. So, sometimes people want to take the wrong direction into their lives, but God, always had plans for us. All we have to do is just take heed. So I thank you for sharing. Now, before we go on to Robin, let's just tap down to Cheryl. Cheryl. Now, on your last time with us, you literally expanded on how this vision loss came about. Can you please just expand on that, please? I have the memory of an elephant. That means we don't forget. Yes.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Mr. Memory of an Elephant. It was simple, it was painless, it was unfortunate. I got up for work one day, taking in the beauty that surrounds me, beautiful day, did everything I needed to do at home, went to work, and within 10 minutes of walking in the building, actually it was less than 10 minutes of walking in the building, as I was in motion, my vision left. But it wasn't as simple as that. As I was walking, I kept looking around, thinking they had done something in the building, because I was looking around and I kept seeing red everywhere. And I couldn't understand why, because if I looked one way, I saw red. If I looked another way, I didn't see red. So I said, okay, I know I'm awake. I'm not half asleep. So what is going on? And I would blink and look around, and I kept seeing this red, and it was just the weirdest experience. Because I would blink, like I said, and I'd look somewhere else, and I would see the office. So just couldn't understand what was going on, but the whole time I'm in motion. I'm coming up escalators, I'm walking down corridors, and I'm like, what? In my mind, I'm getting frantic now, because I'm like, what is going on? And then I realized at some point when I looked into one of the lights that the red I was seeing was moving. And it was at that point that I realized the red that was moving was the blood flowing within my eye. And in that moment, I started touching my face, thinking, oh my God, I'm like bleeding. What is going on? Because again, I could not feel. There was no pain, no warning, no discomfort, nothing. And I realized that my hands were dry. There was no blood on the outside. And that's when I realized that was really the blood that was flowing through my eye, and I could see it. And it's just something that's indescribable, really. And at that point, I knew I was about to just like freak out and lose it. So I just reached around to grab onto something to literally steady myself and hold myself up, because I could feel emotions coming over me like a tsunami. And I did not want to just freak out in the middle of this workspace. So moving forward, multiple surgeries, my sight did not return. So it impacted my life greatly. I was devastated. My family was devastated. My friends, it was just like they say, that drop of water in the ocean. Even though it's an ocean, it still has a ripple effect. there is cause and effect everywhere. So the law of physics, body in motion stays in motion. In my case, time kept ticking, the world kept turning, but my world, my immediate world stood still. So it's been a journey, and that is what has gotten me to where I am now. I had a lot of struggles. There weren't people who could tell me what I needed. So I started to figure out what I need, because that's part of my personality, part of what I do. I problem solve and try to find solutions for things. And in this case, the solution was, how are you going to get back to what you knew as normal, or as close to it as possible? Because I would not, without regaining my sight fully to that point, I would not get back to what used to be normal. So being in this new chapter of my life, how do you do it? How do you stay mentally stable? How do you physically accomplish the things that you need to do on a day-to-day basis? Some of the most basic tasks. And you have to believe in yourself. I believe in God first, but then after believing in God, you have to do what you need to do in order for God to do what he needs to do. So I had to get up off the floor, literally, wipe away the tears and say, let's go. You're at a fork in the road. Are you going to stay here in devastation? Woe is me. And wallow in the I can't see, my life is over mentality? Or are you going to get up, maybe a little wobbly, but figure out what you need to do to move forward? And with that being said, I didn't want anyone else to go through what I go through. I did so much research from that point on, taught myself so many things, created programs to be able to help and assist others, but also in my heart, parents for the youth, parents who don't know the signs, who don't know what to look for to know if their child is having visual problems, because it is never too soon to take your child to have their eyes checked. And when you think your child is unruly, they don't want to participate in school, it's not necessarily because they're just disinterested. A lot of times, research has shown it's because they have some level of sight impairment that has gone undiagnosed. And they don't understand why, when someone says read the board, why they can't read the board, so they just don't raise their hand. And when they're called upon, they just make an excuse or just flat out refuse to participate, which they get labeled by administrators, which is not good. So, so that is where I am. I assist on different levels, and I am so glad to be a part of Kamara Youth.
Thank you
so much.
My mother also just entered
To the room. Like I said, this is a family event. It's not just a reunion. I remember growing up, I used to creep around the house, making sure my mom's door was closed, then jump out the window. Because if I open the door, she'll hear if I come out the door, and sometimes she's making footprints and you hear it.
So I used to open up the window,
and then I would try to go out. And when I come home, I'm thinking everybody's sleeping. She'll be sitting in the dark waiting. Now, you ever sneak in the house and the first thing you feel is a belt on your back and you hear a voice before you can scream, ah! They're screaming, where were you? That was my mom. And, she's been through so much with me. She's been there when I've been shot. By the time I open up my eyes, she left a holiday to come and be by my side. She's been to jail trying to visit me. She's been through the educational system saying, you're going to become somebody in life. Either I have to kill you, but you're going to be somebody. Mom, look at me now. Went to school for psychology, computer engineering. I guess. Huh? Ooh, I feel the belt right now. But Mom, I thank you. I appreciate you. This is the lady why I respect women. This is why I cannot see a man put their hands on a woman, or man putting a voice up at a woman, or I cannot see kids suffer. I've never seen my father have a go at my mom. My whole, I don't know if they used to go in the room and then have a go at each other, but we never seen that. And that is why any female I'm involved with or ever been involved with will never say Eunice disrespected me or was screaming at me or forced me to do it. It's not us. So as parents, we don't have a guidebook on how to be a parent. All we can do is do our best and try. We will face the obstacles, but we can do much better. So, Mom, I'm grateful for you and I love you. Now, going to Robin.
Thank you.
On your last appearance on our platform, you expanded on literacy. Can you please and expand on it? Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I am touching upon some of these topics is because from Chuck to Robin now, each of these speakers are unique in their own, field, their own experiences, their own past. They have so much to offer, and I would encourage you to reach out to them. Get involved with these speakers, forward thinkers, and see how they can support your organization. Robin, the mic is yours.
Thank you. I wanted to also I know I thanked Cheryl in the chat, but I just wanted to thank you again for sharing your story. I had heard your story before, and while I definitely have not dealt with visual impairments, as I shared earlier today and before, when I was younger, I was a struggling reader. And to be more specific, I was in the 8th grade at the time, and I read at a 4th grade reading level, and I was a struggling reader because I had not mastered how to decode words. And I knew that I had a lot of abilities and that I was bright, but no one could really see that in terms of, when you think about kids. I know many of you probably have had your woes when you were younger too. Kids can be cruel. And so in school, what I would try to do is I would try to read ahead, because I liked to read to myself, because I knew there was no one else around me to judge me. And when I was given time to read through something, I could process it and I could understand it. But many times when I was reading in class or called upon to read in class, I would become so nervous that sometimes even for words that I did know, it was just so hard for me to get out of the anxiety that I would even sometimes stumble over words that I did know just out of nervousness. And as I shared earlier, when I was 13 years old, I met someone who just absolutely changed my life. And I had an opportunity in April during the Leadership Experience Tour to honor her publicly, because she knows, and we still stay in touch, and she's very much a part of my life. But it was really the first time that I had an opportunity to acknowledge her so publicly and to share my story of overcoming reading challenges so publicly. Because prior to that point, had I shared my story? Absolutely. And as I shared earlier, I've been working with young people and adults around literacy for more than 15 years now. And what I know and what I'm thankful for is that what was my greatest challenge when I was younger has become my greatest purpose, because I'm coming from a place, even though now I am a graduate of the University of Michigan, I am a literacy leader, I am many things, but I never have forgotten my beginnings. And I definitely have used many of the experiences that I've had in working with young people as well as adults to just show compassion, because illiteracy is not just a local issue, it's a global issue. And I had a chance to share that in June when I spoke at the Fit for Purpose event. And there's something that all of us can do to contribute to the increase of literacy worldwide. And I'll share, before I finish, I'll just share 2 things that you can do. If you have a family member who is struggling with their reading, whether they're a child or an adult, look for programs. If you yourself don't feel comfortable trying to help them, or they feel that maybe the relationship is too close where they don't want you to be the person to help them with their reading, strongly encourage them, especially if they're an adult, strongly encourage them to get connected to a literacy program. I've known families where individuals have struggled with their reading and they had a family member who would read their mail for them, or they would complete forms for them. And while that may seem like you're supporting them, in that moment you're supporting them, but long term, what are they going to do when you're gone? And they're going to need to have some of those skills, develop themselves so that they can advocate and take care of themselves, advocate for themselves and take care of themselves. So that's one way that you can help adults who need literacy support. But another way that you can support in the increase of literacy in your community is that if you know a child who is struggling in their reading, I would also encourage you to, if you've tried different strategies with them, and if they've gone to tutoring and they still seem like they're struggling, go just like you would go to a doctor. If there was some type of symptom that you're seeing, go to a specialist who is qualified to do the appropriate testing so that you can see if there's some type of learning barrier there. And I say learning barrier because I don't like the word disability. That's just me personally, because it implies that that individual is not able to learn, when that's not necessarily what a learning disability is. And there's many kinds of learning disabilities. I know Cheryl talked about labels or naming something. And I do believe in, if there's something to be named, by naming it can help you access resources and strategies to support that individual in their learning. And so that's why I strongly encourage, if you have a child or you know a child who is struggling and you've tried everything that you know how to do, and you utilize the supports that are in the school that they attend, and they're still not getting that breakthrough, it might be appropriate to reach out for some testing to see if there's something else going on so that they can get the supports that they need. Because one thing that we know from research and from practice is that the earlier that a child gets the intervention that they need with their reading, then the better chance they have of excelling later on in those other academic areas of their learning. And so that's what I would leave with you as just 2 ways that you can support the increase of literacy within your community, is to don't be someone who enables. You can support that family member in that moment, but you can support them long-term by encouraging them to get the supports that they need so that they will be okay even when you are gone. And you can help a child who's struggling with their reading by seeking testing to help narrow out, or rule out, I should say, if there's maybe perhaps a learning barrier, so that they can also get the proper supports so that they can maximize their potential and lead a life hopefully free of struggle with their reading, much like I have in my experience. And so Thank you again, Unisa, for allowing me to share. And I'm going to pass the mic to the next person so that they can speak.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Robin. Again, if anyone in the audience have anything to say, please raise your hand, and we will, because we will be closing this room shortly. But I just want to acknowledge some of the people that just entered the room as well. My elder sister that I always speak about, that work for the United Nations, has joined us as well. Kipi,
look at what Alpha has created.
Look at our son that was taken away. Look at the change he has created. Look at the people he has brought together. Look at the impact he's creating. And now he is giving water in different parts of the world by creating water pumps. Look at what our son has done. And also when this gentleman was speaking, oh, my sister's tapped, ladies and gentlemen. And also when Andres was speaking, he said he couldn't be a comedian. I spoke about my older brother, Samuel Camara. He's also here. So as I've stated, I'm about family. And as you can see, the family is here to support. And my team, Richard, the core speakers, Richard, Barky, Cheryl, Sean, and I. So Miriam. Oh yeah, I was gonna call me. I was trying to remember my name.
Oh, okay.
How can I forget Miriam? I'm trying to think about me. Because Miriam is the one that gives me the hard time, ladies and gentlemen. But this is what we're about. We are a team. I want you to reach out to these people. If you want to say something, reach out to them. Kimberly is someone that I met in a funny way. I met Kimberly in Clubhouse, and for some reason we connected, and we found a way of connecting also on Facebook. And it's like she wrote a synopsis on something, and I read it, and how her focus was on youth. I knew it was someone that I was going to connect with, and we were going to build. So, Kimberly, I see you, I hear you, and we will talk. Thank you for being here. Miriam, on the last time you spoke about sickle cell. How the youths are not getting medication for free, or they're not getting medication. Please expand on that.
Well, for many people that don't know, sickle cell is a genetic condition and is, inherited, meaning that you get it from your parents. So both my parents were carriers, so they don't actually suffer from the disease, but they carry the faulty gene. And I was the unfortunate child to take both faulty genes. And for me, growing up, when I was in Sierra Leone, it was always about, there were so many things that people just had to say about, those with sickle cell. It was always linked to things like witchcraft and, so many things. And I remember when I was a child and I was young, about 6 years of age, and and being sick and not even understanding what was going on truly with me at the time. I was not yet even properly diagnosed. My family knew something was wrong, but there was so much going on in Sierra Leone at the time with the war that, that was the list of their problems. And even being told as a young child to confess, that I have to confess if I want to be all right, that this is, evil, is witchcraft. And I really for a while believed that something was wrong, that I'll pray to God, like, God, please, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be, a witch. I didn't even know what witchcraft was, but here I was as a child having to think about these things, and instead of just being out playing with my friends. And but fortunately for me, at the age of 12, I was able to come over to the UK. I got properly diagnosed, and I was able to have a medical team that taught me about what it was like, what triggers my pain, and things that I need to look out for, what I can do to make things better. I was given, proper treatment. I had not just my physical pain taken care of, but also my psychological trauma that I had dealt with. I had to have counseling. And for me, when I went back home, 2008 was my first trip back home. And realizing that even after all those years, not much had changed. And people with sickle cell were still being stigmatized the same way. They were still having to go through the same struggles. And after all these years, and I thought things would get better, but no, they could barely get properly diagnosed or treated. And I wanted to do something. But back then, I was also a child. I was a school child myself. But I knew in my heart that I have to start somewhere. And I started taking trips back home by myself. I started volunteering. I would go to schools, teach. I started talking about it. I was like, you know what? Right now, I'm in school. I don't have the finances, but I could do something, and I will go and just pass on the same knowledge that what I was being taught by my own medical team and with the facilities that we had over here in the UK. I will put that into information packs and take it back home, and I'll go into schools and start talking about it, teaching, and then finally, in 2015, I was able to properly form an organization, got it registered, the Dora Foundation, and be able to properly go out there and help people. And thankfully, right now to date, we're now going to nearly 100 patients that get free blood tests to confirm that they whatever their genotype is. And once they get that test done and it's confirmed, we get them registered. They receive free treatment, medication every month without fail. We go out there, we give out information. We make sure they know how to take care of themselves. When COVID started, we were there as well, letting not just our patients know how to look after themselves and protect themselves, but the entire community. We also went out there, we donated, hand washing facilities at different points, even at the Sierra Leone International Airport. We also donated, hand washing facility there. We had information, flyers and posters all over, being able to teach people, and also actually showing the community how they can support these people and not think of it as, oh, it's witchcraft, that this is something that can happen to anyone. That if we all have the knowledge, if we all know what it's about, we can then help one another, because you don't know. Today it might be me, but tomorrow you don't know. Because so many people don't even realize that they carry this gene. It is just that it is not dominant, but it is recessive in their blood. There's one thing we cannot change, and that is our DNA. So the best thing we can do is to educate ourselves, be informed, and so we will be prepared. Because I speak to parents who just find out that their child has sickle cell and they don't even know where to start. But I let them know that I cannot promise you the journey is going to be easy, but I can promise you that you can still have a child that can grow up to be somebody that you can be proud of. The same way that my mom looks at me and she's proud of me regardless of everything that we've gone through together. I'm a survivor, and I let those parents know that they too, if they do have a child, it is not the end of the world. You know, I'm all right. I make it through. It is not easy, but they too can do the same thing. So I'm really passionate about that, and also helping youths, you know, because a lot of young people as well. And I remember one time, because I'm so passionate about young people. And when I go out there, I'm always in the community, in the schools, and I speak to them. And I remember asking, there's a boy whose family, his siblings, they have sickle cell. And he's a carrier, so he's AS. I was asking him, I was like, so, you know, do you have a girlfriend? And if you do, do you know what her genotype is? And he's like, what's that got to do with anything? I was like, it has a lot to do with anything, because although you might not suffer from it, you carry the gene, which means you can pass it on to your own kids as well, if your partner happens to be AS. My own kids, luckily for them, they are AS. They don't have the disease, but they carry the gene. So it is my responsibility to make sure that they know that. I'm not saying they should avoid anybody that has the gene, but for them to know what it comes with and what it means, so they can be prepared and be ready to deal with it, you know. And I do believe there will come a time when we'll be able to get rid of it. But for now, it is in our genes. So it is all of our responsibility.
Thank you
so much, Miriam. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have another sport thinker, and then we'll be closing the room. But again, I want us all to network, get to know each other. I believe in family. I believe in togetherness. I believe in building something that lasts. I don't believe in short terms. I believe in long term. I believe that our children need us. I know if we don't support them, they'll be lost. I know so many of us are trying. But one thing I always say is, imagine if we come together. As a motivational speaker, I don't just get on stage to talk. As Chuck stated, anybody can speak. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if you can understand those three elements, you can work towards delivering. Now, we are also having a global speaker network where we support speakers and coaches on a global platform. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to us and the team will respond to you. But we're definitely constructing that where we will definitely make sure we do our best to promote you as a speaker, as a coach, via television. We have these different platforms we're working with. We have radio. We have a film production. So we will deliver what we say. And in this world, I believe that the only thing we have is our word. And if your word is no good, then what good are you as an individual? So we stand. And as you can see, we stand with you, please. Everything we say, we're trying to deliver. So if we're telling you as an adult, we're going to support you, you become one of our Camaro youths. That's a joke, people. Laugh, smile. There we go. But you still become part of Camaro youths. So I just want to say I love each and every one of you. You are part of the family. I am accessible to you. I know Chuck is going to be calling me tonight. Like, okay, so you say you're accessible. I need you to come to America. What do you? Chuck. Yeah, but I just want to say I love each and every one of you.
I'm going to hand the mic over to Barkey now. And again, ladies and don't just sit here then after the event that you want to ask, so who's Chuck or who's Robin or what did Dr. Zachary say, or what did Miriam say? They're here, they're present. Raise your hand or personally reach out to them through the chat and build a relationship. I stated that this is networking. I don't normally allow people to be reaching out to my phone thinkers like that, but this is a private networking event. So reach out to them. Barkey, the mic is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Unisa, and for everyone who is here today. I just want to applaud you for being here and showing up. That is the first step that we can take to make a difference in our lives, but also the youth's lives. So I just want to applaud you and to say to you, you are amazing. And we're here to make a difference. So I can see your comments and I can see what you've been saying and the way you're connecting. And I just want to say that we see you. I see you. UNISA sees you. And your query and your questions will be answered. So don't worry, we will get back to you. For everyone who also stated that they want to be part of Kamara Youth and also want to be part of the Global Speakers Network, we will get back to you. And for everyone else, if you have any other question or anything at any time and you don't either don't know how to save the chat, you can go to the chat and there will be a button on the bottom and you can save the chat. And that means the links down there, you will be able to get them to yourself. If just in case you cannot do that, you can just email us to info@kamarayouth.com and we will answer your query at any time as well. I wish you all the best, and I just want to say thank you again. I am so happy and I'm so proud to be part of Kamara Youth and to be working alongside amazing speakers like yourselves and an extraordinary man over here. What can we say, eh?
I try.
We can't live without him. We can't live with him, eh? We have to be here.
I don't know if that's a compliment or is that supposed to hurt, but I would take it, Chuck. What can I do, Chuck? Just take it, right?
Yeah, you just smile and you just keep on moving, right? just hey, you need to look at it like this. Whatever she says, it's the glass half full approach.
Oh, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, as a forward thinker, we joke. I have sometimes I'll go at Robin. We all just joke around. We are family. So we don't take nothing personal. If there's an issue, I say something that, Dr. Ross don't like, she'll personally call me and say, Unisa, I did not appreciate that. That is what a family does. We don't hold grudges. We're not going to go back around nobody. We are. This is what you see is what you get.
Yes.
So I just want to acknowledge our brother, our chaplain, who is always there to support, who is going to hospitals to say farewell to the youths, especially during this COVID, that they don't have no one around, but he goes and gives his time. Richard, can you just say something as we go off the air?
You hear me?
Not yet.
We cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Let me just switch my camera on. Yes, hello, ladies and gentlemen. What protocol to observe?
He's in the engineering room.
Yes, if you can hear the feedback, just bear with me. But I just wanted to say hello to everybody. My name is Richard Cunningham. Unisa said I'm a chaplain, but today I'm a technical person, because I believe we have to use our skills to promote the vision of this great Kamara Youth. So I appreciate each and everybody. I haven't got much to say, but all I can say is that please let's all push in so that we can give the help to that youth, because I believe we are here for a purpose. You are here, you have a gift, and you have a family. And as Eunice mentioned, I got trained at Cambridge University chaplain, because I believe that the youth of our today, they are, I don't want to go too long, but I believe the youth really need our help. And some of this help are spiritual, because they can have all the money. Some of them will have all the parenting, but you find that these youth are still, I've seen a lot of youth dying. I come face to face with them when I do my chaplaincy, and they really need our help. So please, let us all use our gift, because I believe that all of us exist here to empower one another, to serve one another, to help the betterment of one another. So this is just me to show my face. Let me go to do my technical work. I appreciate each and everybody, and I thank UNISA for pushing this vision forward. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much,
Richard. You know, if I one day I'll take the camera and go in there and just show you around. He's not doing anything. He's really not doing anything. I don't know if he can hear me. He's sitting there just looking at the pictures. Oh, he can hear me, right? Oh, I didn't know he can hear me. Disregard what I just said, ladies and gentlemen. He's working hard.
Well, as we come
to a close, I just want to say, I'm humble. I cannot express that enough. I am grateful for my family, external, internal family. I'm grateful for the new family that is coming into my life. I'm grateful for the work that we are doing, because tomorrow is not guaranteed for any one of us. And your words that you speak are just a breath of air. They vanish. But your actions, what you do today, will be remembered tomorrow. When Martin Luther King just started what he was doing, do you think that he thought of the impact that he's going to create today, up to date? Let's think about it. All of these great people that we read, that we hear about, do you think that they thought about what is going to be written about them? The impact that they have created or they were creating? You don't need somebody to write a book about you. All you need to do is know that the youth that you save today is going to be your greatest offer. And he don't have to put it on a paper, but the words that he speaks, the love that he has for you, that will never fade. And guess what the greatest joy is? When you know you've done something right. When you know you saved the youth. When you know that youth will see you one day and say, that's the person that made the impact. That's the person that made a difference in my life. That is what matters. I usually tell, when I get on stage, I always do the visualization aspect of my speech. I like for people to visualize. I'm a visual person. So can I walk you through my phase right now of speech? I wish I had time. Right now, all I can say is, imagine you donating 5 pounds, you feeding a youth. Imagine you giving us 1 or 2 hours a day out of your time to support a youth. Imagine what that can do. As we come to an end, I just want to ask again, does anyone in the audience that is fit for purpose have any comment or any question for our forward thinkers?
Unisa,
Okay.
Is it okay for me to ask Miriam?
Robin is saying something.
Oh, okay, Robin, go ahead.
I just wonder, is it okay for me to ask Miriam a question about what she was sharing with us earlier today about sickle cell?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if she's still on the call. Actually,
yeah, she is.
She is.
I am.
Okay. Can you tell me, to my knowledge, I don't have anyone in my family who's received a diagnosis, but you talked a little bit about getting genetic testing. Can you still request to get genetic testing even if you don't have anyone that you know of in your family who's been diagnosed?
No, yeah, you can still get your genotype test done, even if you have no awareness of anyone in your family having it, because a lot of people carry the gene. You know, it's not dominant, but it's recessive in us because, you know, it's a long DNA strand. So you can still request for a test to be done. And also now actually a lot of DNA, even companies like 23andMe, there are people now that are doing their DNA test and finding out, like, you know, they are carrier of sickle cell and they've never even known. So there are companies like that that are doing that as well, that people are at least getting to know now about it, and at least they have the knowledge. But you can request to get a genotype test done, and they should be able to let you know. So it's a good thing to know, and at least you know what your genotype is. And also, so many people think it's just either your carrier or you have the gene, but also there are actually variety of sickle cell gene. They, like me, I have SS, but there are other people that have a different variant of the gene, like SC, you know, and also sickle cell does also mix with thalassemia, and people have the mixture of the sickle beta thalassemia as well. So there are so many different variants and variations of the gene, but only when you get your genotype test done, that's the time you'll be able to know specifically what type of gene that you have, what your genotype is.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I have Samuel, my brother. He wants to ask a question. Sam, what's your question, and to whom?
First and foremost, I want to thank everyone for partnershiping with the Camara Youth on this venture. We appreciate the work that's been done by everyone. But my question is for Dr. Zachary Ross. Dr. Ross, Zachary Ross, as superintendent of the school system, we know that most of the youths spend a substantial amount of time in school. And most of the things that they get to do oftentimes come from that environment because they spend a substantial amount of time with one another. What is it that the school system can do that can better?
I lost you, Brother Cunningham. I can't hear. It muted.
No. So
he needs to unmute.
Okay.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, Dr. Ross, as I was saying, a substantial amount of time is spent in school. Most of these youths, they interact with one another in school. And it's from this interaction oftentimes that can either lead them to become better members of society, or perhaps lead them to a life of crime. What do you suppose the school system can do that could better enforce what we are trying to do right now in trying to save this youth from a life of crime?
Thank you for your question. You know, I think about this stuff all the time, and I'm really proud. If you look at Ypsilanti Community Schools, please Google it. You can see, first of all, we've got to, in general, move from being school focused to community focused. Whatever community you serve, what the students need impact it coincides to what's happening in their community. So like we got rid of policing in schools. We ensured that during this pandemic, we called it a resiliency center, like a Walmart, a one-stop shop where parents and students and families could come and get things printed. They can get help with if they were trying to evict them, just to deal with the community. We've got to, first of all, be community focused and not school focused and have our agenda. Secondly, our students have really experienced, every single student has experienced now some kind of trauma due to this pandemic. And we are still, Eunice, I love that you said it, we're still in a pandemic. And so the social emotional supports that's needed is right now outweighing everything that they need academically. People talk about these students are behind, they're not behind. They are resilient. They have learned some things and how to navigate this year way better than we know how to navigate. And they're going to take those skills and be able to apply them to other things. However, we've got to do the social emotional pieces. So for us, we're doing compassion resilience circles with our staff and with our parents to give them that support. And then doing restorative circles and ensuring that they're not just after the fact, but in advance, the circles to give them that space to talk. So then the teachers, the support folks can know what is needed and we can be there for them because we've got to help them navigate. We talked about how we all ended up where we are today in our lives. And it's some trauma we experienced as children. It's some things and challenges we had and nobody taught us how to navigate it. So it's our responsibilities as adults to help them navigate past this pandemic, what this means to them. And you know, I talk about identity, for their new identity as a learner, as a person in their family. They might have lost a parent, a sibling, another loved one. So again, first, community focus instead of school focus. Second, we are responsible for the social emotional needs of our students. And then what we've got to get to is equity. You know, I know people are talking about it. It seems like a buzzword, but it's not. I always talk about, and that's again why I love Eunice. He don't even know that I love him so much, I don't think. But what it is if there's not a table for them, we've got to show them how to build their own table, set a table there, and then how to speak at that table. I go to so many meetings. I'm the only African-American. I'm only one of two women in well, now there's 3 women superintendents. There's not Black women superintendents, period, in the United States, period. You don't see both, the intersectionality. And when we talk about equity, this isn't like no buzzword. This is for real. Like if we want to break some barriers, if we want to talk about saving our youth, then we've got to give them a seat at the table. And if the seat is not there, prepare them to build a table so that they can sit there at the table. And so that is my whole passion for this, why I'm talking here, why I'm spending my Saturday here when we're starting school on Monday. I got bus drivers calling folks. I should be doing that, but this is so important. And like not Chuck, I think that was Andre saying, we all think it's going to be somebody else's responsibility. It might not be your school that's doing it. It might not be your superintendent. It might not, but we got to teach them. I don't care who's doing it. Let us be the ones who are doing it, because we've got to share with them. You've navigated so well. I mean, my goodness, your background is amazing, Brother Cunningham. So if we can teach them how to navigate, how to have their voice at the table, that will be beyond schools being community focused, dealing with SEL. If we can show them how to navigate and get themselves at that table and speak on behalf of their family. And the stuff you heard Miriam talk, Robin talk, Chuck, everybody's brought their own stories. Cheryl has had her experience. If they can learn to share their stories at that table, imagine where we'd be in this world. And so that's why I'm a part of Camara Youth, because I know that it takes all of us, thought leaders, to be able to prepare our students. It's not just up to the educators, because I will say it every time. Our parents are our children's first teachers, and they're the only lifetime teachers most of our students will ever have. They might not ever connect back to their first grade teacher, second grade teacher, but their mama, their daddy, aunties, uncles, your community, your tribe, that is your child's first teacher, and it's our responsibility to lead them. Our responsibility, my responsibility.
And I just want to thank each and every one. I want to extend my sincere gratitude to everyone for all the work that's been done. In the past, people have a tendency to just pass the buck to the next generation, but it seems like this group is trying to accept that responsibility and do what's right for the youth of the future. So in that aspect, I applaud each and every one that was present here today, and I thank each and every one of you guys. That's it.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Samuel Camara. That's my younger brother, but he think he's older than me.
Really? I thought he's older.
No, well, my mom gave birth to him first.
That means he's older.
But I'm older.
Maybe your mind is older.
But I'm an old man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Zachary Ross, I love you to bits. And I love each and every one of you. There you go. That's it. I love you all. I appreciate you. Continue to create the impact. Just know that I see you. I sincerely see you for who you are. A lot of people talk to talk, but I see each and every one of you. And I am grateful to be in the midst of you all. So as we come to an end, I want to say thank you. May God bless you all. May He always guide you and open doors for you that no human being can ever open. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Recording stopped.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a good evening.
I know.
Well, everyone, thank you.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, everyone.